What's up, guys? How we doing? How we doing? First of all, we got the Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, and Commanders. I'm going Bills, Commanders. Bills win the Super Bowl. That's what I would like to happen. If it ends up being the Chiefs and the Eagles, I ain't even gonna fucking watch. But that's not what today's video is about. First of all, to the subscriber that commented on my last video, I want to say that I genuinely appreciate your input and actually commenting something of substance. I'm sorry that I took the comment the wrong way that I did, but after reading it more and more, I realized that your goal was not to talk shit, not to do anything other than look at things from a different perspective and give me advice, and that means a lot to me, and I appreciate being able to have those conversations and having fans like you that are willing to have that conversation with me. I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you. I guess what it was boiling down to, my point in the last video about Trump, wasn't necessarily to just talk about his presidency and to shit on the right. It was to talk about influence, right? The word influence. I think the youth is going to grow up a lot differently than you and I did. I don't think they're going to grow up watching Saturday night cartoons like we did, right? They watch their favorite YouTuber, right? Often kids are just handed a fucking iPad and told, here you go. And then they watch their favorite kid YouTuber. And let's be honest here, there's a lot of kid YouTubers that are not that great of people, that know how to get kid YouTubers' attention by just being exploitive, by being loud, by being flashy, by it is easier to be funny to a kid. It is. So you have a lot of bad people that are kid influencers. Now there's some good ones out there, but not nearly as good as bad ones. Let's talk about family vlog channels that like directly encourage kids to be bad and steal their parents' money. And my point is you got all these bad influencers out there for kids that kids watch. They don't know any better. And then they hit 15, right? That age where you're edgy and find everything edgy and try to be cool and watch people like Jack the Douche and Christian Caniff and see these people making content that's publicly harassing other people or just being as shitty as humanly possible, saying edgy things about women, saying edgy things about this, saying the N-word, saying this, saying that, and they find it funny because it's edgy, it's cool to be that way. And then they hit 20, and then they look up to people like Andrew Tate and then Donald Trump. And, like, I think the next generation, man, we really got to worry about what they're consuming and what they're watching and the level of influence that we have on them. Take Jake Paul, for example. You remember that scam class he came out with, like, 7 years ago? That, what was it? It was, like, something of 100 being part of his Team 1000 or some shit like that, and it was just a scam thing where you paid $7 up front and then it actually cost $60 after that. But since you already put mommy's credit card info in because you got her approval for $7, now you don't even need permission to spend 60, right? And then the class is just a bunch of bullshit, just Logan Paul being flashy, showing all these cars, showing this. And in that video, Logan Paul tries to use a mathematical example, poor guy, where he's talking about the number of views that Keeping Up with the Kardashians get every day compared to the number of views that he gets every day, and made the direct point, who has more influence? And that's exactly my fucking problem, that somebody like Logan Paul that doesn't have a brain stem, that makes shit content, that just is sitting here bragging about how rich he is all the time, was born rich, by the way, and puts on fake boxing events, was influencing kids how to not be. Oh, here's how you create good content. Drama, stories, just being a fucking idiot. And kids don't know any better, man. They're easy to prey on. It's easy to prey on their naiveness, right? It's very rare that you get somebody that is a kid influencer that actually cares about bettering that kid. They just look at them as a number, and they know how to do that. And I think that's a more serious problem than we're actually thinking about. The next generation is going to be twice as big. It's going to be huge. And we live in a weird time, right? Like, movies, Hollywood, they're going under. I do not think, and I might be wrong. I'm not right all the time, okay? But I think in 20 years, Hollywood will shift. I think movies are dying out. Nobody knows what to make anymore. It's all prequels, sequels, reboots, blah, blah. Like, yes, there have been movies that have made $1 billion recently, but more younger people are watching content that's short form, TikTok, YouTube, shit like that. Because, and I watch YouTube. Once you run out of things to watch, I mean, every idea in Hollywood has been explored before. That, like, I've been watching YouTube for the last 3 years because it feels more personal. The person that you're watching, it feels more personal, right? Instead of watching this movie that was $250 million to create that ends up being dog shit because they didn't really care about the story, didn't really care about how it was going to emotionally impact you. They just wanted to put ass in seats. Compared to watching this person that puts a lot of work into making his content himself and having his voice be heard, you feel obligated to give your attention to that person over this movie that's dog shit, right? And I think the next wave is going to be very, very, very heavily influenced by those shitty kid content creators, those shitty people out there like Jack Doherty and people of that nature. And then whenever they reach their 20s and they see somebody like Andrew Tate and Donald Trump, they want to be like them. They want to learn how to get rich. They want to learn how to get women. They want to learn how to be successful adults. Maybe they didn't have a father figure to teach them these things, so they look to these people for advice because their entire lives they have been manipulated to watch people that don't give a fuck about them and just give a fuck about exploiting them. And I absolutely think that's going to have a big impact on how the new generation acts and perceives the world and treats their fellow man. And I get that my Trump video might be irritating to some people, but whatever. I'm here to talk about what I see every day, what I've grown up in, and what I think and feel. And yes, I'm trying to cuss less. I don't want to lose somebody and not have my point be heard because I said the word fuck too much. I'm working on it. But at the same time, every point I raised was valid. I watch people every day act shitty. I made a video called Story Time where I talk about one of my abusive stepfathers that literally told me that literally just inward this, inward that just was horrible, right? And simply talking about that got me shit on. My first commentary video, Nick Fuentes, talking about your body, my choice, comment saying get your handmade outfits ready. I got shit on for making that video. How in the world? How? Why? Why would you rather shit on somebody for saying, hey, I don't know, maybe treat women like women. Hey, I don't know, maybe stop looking at the TV and screaming when you see a black person and protecting your fellow conservative when they act like that and call that shit out, because not every conservative is that way. There's good conservatives out there and there's good liberals out there. I'm more middle leaning, right? I'm in the middle. I've stated that many times now. I'm just commenting on what I have personally seen and my own personal experiences with the right. And you don't get to tell me that what I've seen with my own eyes and what I've experienced and dealt with isn't fucking real. If anything, when I tell you that as an 8-year-old boy I was being told these things, you should look at that as a really horrible thing. But instead, that makes the right look bad, so fuck me. He's like, I don't get it. I also don't get why the fuck I gotta make a controversial video for it to get attention. Like, I don't like making controversial videos. I don't want that to be the meat of my channel. That's not, like, I want the meat of my channel to be me vlogging and talking about my day and me and my life. And then sprinkle in some opinions on what's going on in the world. And Trump happens to be what's going on in the world right now. Current events. And I feel like it's worth talking about. And, I don't want to piss people off. I don't want to let people down, but I'm also not going to shut my fucking mouth just because what I'm saying makes a few people uncomfy because they don't want to look at the truth of some of these issues. And believe me, I'm not generalizing, okay? Because then that would make me a fucking hypocrite. There are good people. I got good people in the right that are subscribed to me. I got good people in the left that are subscribed to me. I love the fan base that I'm acquiring here. And I love that I'm able to have these conversations with people that think a little bit differently than me, that have a different perspective than I do. I was in no way, shape, or form trying to say that Trump is to blame for why I'm this broke son of a bitch. No. I don't think people realize how bad the gig economy really is. Like, you're supposed to be an independent contractor, which means you're supposed to be able to do the jobs that you want to do and work when you want to work, but you don't have those freedoms. You don't have any of the freedoms of being an independent contractor while not getting paid. Like, and the laws and regulations are so lax around being an independent contractor because of Trump. That's what I was trying to say. Look it up. That's just the truth. I had a customer one day that was actually a lawyer that was looking into malpractice of gig economy apps. And he thinks in 10 years, there's going to be lawsuits on their hands because the shit they're doing is illegal. Why is the shit that they're doing so lax and illegal? Well, because it's not being moderated. And independent contractor is a loose-based term that they shouldn't be allowed to give us because we have none of the benefits of being that. That was my point. Biden wanted to make us W-2 employees, and since we practically already are, that's one of the rare few Biden things that I actually agreed with. That was my point there. Wasn't trying to say that, hey, I'm broke because of Trump. That's stupid. I'm broke because I'm broke. I'm a single dad and got put in a shitty situation, and I'm trying to come out of it. Sure, Uber isn't my end game. I could get I could get a job and double my income tomorrow, but I wouldn't have anybody to watch, Persephone. That's why. You guys know all this. So, it's important to talk about these things. Current events. Give your opinions. Not enough people out there want to say what's on their mind. People are scared. People are scared to talk about how they feel. It's hard to get on here and say something that I know is going to rub some people the wrong way, but I do it because it's what I believe in, it's what I'm passionate about, and because at the end of the day, I feel like it's the right thing to do. And while, unfortunately, kids ain't gonna watch my shit, teenagers ain't gonna watch my shit, because me sitting here talking to a camera isn't flashy. It isn't that entertaining. It isn't, and the people that I would like to influence are probably never going to watch my stuff. But I do appreciate the people that do watch. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate being able to Twitch and stream and hang out with you guys. I appreciate everything you do for me. I do. But sometimes you just gotta speak your mind. And I have the unfortunality of living in a radical right state. So I see that more often. If I lived in California, I'd probably make more videos talking about the radical left, because believe me, there are some shitty people on the left. I don't want every video to be political. I was just talking about the current events, man. And the term influencer is very important to me, because exactly like Jake Paul said, or in his fucking stupid goddamn class, who has more influence? You, Jake Paul, which is a very scary thing, because you're using it to influence children for the worse. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like what that looks like in the next 20 years. I think that's going to be a bigger deal than what we realize. When every kid is acting like Logan Paul and Andrew Tate, and every woman is acting like Cardi B and Jules Arie, we're fucked. So that's my video for today. I'm tired of shit. We got football to watch, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. Go Commanders. I mean, they deserve it at this point. And the Bills, the only way they lose to the Chiefs is because of bad penalties. Sorry, Chiefs fans. You don't lose in every statistical category and still win games without help. So, like, anyway, I love you guys very, very much. And I appreciate your differing opinions, and I appreciate you being here. It's just the term influencer is so important to me, because I want to actually influence people for the better. I want to influence people to have thick skin, to care about themselves more, to value their opinion more than other people's, to share my pain and help others to talk about what I think is right and wrong, and actually not be scared to speak up about these fucking issues. Everybody's so scared of saying things that they're going to get canceled for this and that they don't give their honest opinion. They fence sit and they do that. Well, I am not one of those people, and I won't be. But I'm not going to, I don't know. I know some political videos is like watching nails on a chalkboard. It's not exactly a topic I wanted to talk about, but at the same time, I do want to talk about current events. So, yeah, that's my opinion on Trump, whatever. That's my opinion on shitty influencers, and I do think that that's going to have a bigger effect than we realize, but I guess we'll find out in 30 years. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. And Tom Brady, goddammit, you better not be commentating this Commanders and Eagles game. Every game you've commentated on, the opposite outcome that I've wanted to happen has happened. You own the Steelers for 20 years, and now every time I see you commentate on a game, the outcome I want doesn't happen. Fuck you, Tom Brady.